Welcome to 3 on the Ones and Twos with your hosts, Tom, Cassie, and James. Just 3 old friends talking about their favorite records. Think of it as the coolest book club for music nerds.
Hey Brian, can we get 2 more Guinness?
Got them all ready.
Oh, I can't wait for James to get here. I'm excited to talk about this record.
Oh, what record are you guys doing this time?
The Jam, Setting Sun.
It's one of my favorites.
One of my favorites too.
Awesome.
Hey.
Decides to show up. Knock, knock. Who's there? James Joyce. Which one? How you doing, buddy?
The other one, not the original one.
You're looking very like mods versus the rockers. Like you were just on the other side of the tracks. What's going on?
That was the deal. I was on the other side of the tracks. The train came by and I got stuck. And I was on my scooter. What am I going to do? I got here as soon as possible.
I got news for you.
So
you were on some. I was on my scooter. What are you going to do?
That's why we got more than.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's real quick. I just want to say. It feels really good to spend such a special day with you guys because today happens to be.
What is it?
What? I don't know.
Birthday.
You tell me. Yes. My mom and dad used to go to beatnik poetry readings in the Greenwich Village.
It's actually tomorrow.
In the 50s and 60s.
It's actually tomorrow, but Tom celebrates for like a
yes,
week.
I do. For a month sometimes. But,
for a month, and do it.
But when good things happen, instead of clapping your hands, you go like this. Oh, man,
cheers,
no, cheers.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. 51 years young. What?
April Fool.
Yes.
And who else?
D. Boone, Lon Chaney.
Yep.
Are April Fools?
Yes.
And about Mr. Lee?
Yes, we are missing someone. Tell me.
Eric?
Oh, yes. One of my best friends, Eric Lee, my brother. Happy birthday to you as well. You know what's crazy is James Joyce is so amazing.
This is the day before yours.
James, yes.
Right?
But James,
which is awesome. Like, what a weird.
James Joyce just gave me the most beautiful lob softball, and I still swung and missed, by the way.
Like who? Happy birthday, Eric Lee. Happy birthday, Tom Cheshire.
Cheers, boy. And let's talk about some music.
So, this is our album.
Cassie's pick.
This is my pick. This is one of my favorite albums ever.
Cassie, one of the world's greatest music fans ever. It's amazing because we're going to start hashtagging that, right?
I do love music.
Okay,
So,
what do you got?
This is my favorite band. And this is, I don't know that I can actually pick a favorite album of theirs, but this is like one that I think like.
Such a good record.
I mean, it's up there. It's up there. And actually, like, listening to it recently, because I've been listening to this album for, I've been listening to The Jam for like 30 years. So, I don't,
wow. Okay.
This might be the first, and I just realized this the other day, this might be the first album that I heard of theirs. Like, because the person I was dating with and living with.
So this is where it all goes down right here.
It's the world.
Here's the origin story.
Yeah, exactly. Why?
But I was listening to "Girl on the Phone" a few days ago, and I was thinking about it, and like I was singing along to it, and I was thinking. I remembered like a moment when I was like 19 and like actually like thinking about like the lyrics of the song and like what it meant, and I was like, wow, I think this might have been like one of the first albums that I heard from the Jam.
That is my favorite thing about I was a fan first, even though I grew up in a musical household. A lot of failed musicians in my family, but that's okay. Poets as well, but if the passion's there, that's all.
Yeah.
And then I went from becoming a fan to start writing and producing and touring and becoming a musician. But when you think about these things, like if I hear, let's say, Behind the Wheel by Depeche Mode, I remember wearing a red sweatshirt in 1987 in New York when my girlfriend broke up with me. That kind of thing.
Sometimes, like there's certain things that really.
I remember Tom Petty said, "I don't believe in magic, but I believe in music," and that's the closest thing to magic. And I'm sure maybe even Chuck Berry and a million other people said that as well.
Right.
But I'm here to say, and I think I can speak for all three of us, we feel the same way.
Right.
Like if you could smell or see a picture of something when you hear a song,
right.
like Strange Town, which is on this record. And I remember when it goes to that gallop slash.
But apparently wasn't in the UK release. Apparently that wasn't in the UK release.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I bought the 45.
But it's in the version that you have. You have the US version with Strange Town on it.
Yes.
It's on the second side.
That was so weird.
It's all reversed.
It's reversed, but also it doesn't include Strange Town.
Well, see, the thing is, first of all, this is this band right here.
Oh my God.
Holy cow.
So
next to maybe the Jimi Hendrix Experience,
right,
and the Minutemen, they're probably the best trio maybe ever. That's a pretty. I know that's a huge thing to say.
Power trio.
But if we're talking about a trio, and we know Mike Watt and Dee Boone and the Minutemen, wonderful, and Jimi Hendrix Experience, whether you like Jimi Hendrix or not, you gotta give them insane props to the trio.
But what we were saying about recently about some I'm not gonna mention it, but whatever. But there was somebody nine musicians.
Well, yes, and we're not going to talk.
We're not going to talk about
this whole show is about PMA and positive stuff. But yes, when 9 guys are on stage doing the work of 3, you're doing something wrong.
But that's the thing is like the fact that they are able to pack more of a punch in
three people. Well, Bruce Foxton might be my favorite bass player ever.
He's an amazing bass player. Here's something.
I've recorded a good amount of records, and I can't tell me how many times, whether it's Marlon Sanchez or whoever's been with me, has gone to the studio and said, "I want the sound of all Mod Cons on bass."
But can I tell you? But wait.
Sure.
So I just recently found this out. Bruce Foxton didn't originally play.
He was second
bass.
Yeah.
I did not know
Paul Weller
that.
played bass.
Yeah.
In the jam.
Yes, that's true.
And there was one of.
But it was very brief. It was. Yeah.
But Paul Weller pitched playing bass to Bruce Foxton. I mean, can you imagine what would have how things would have gone down?
But listen,
he's kind of a guitarist, bass player.
He plays like a lead, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I thought he played a Fender. He played a Fender. No, he doesn't play a Fender.
No, it's Marshall bass. I mean, I can't tell for every album.
Right.
I know that when I see pictures of Bruce Foxton playing bass, he's playing a Marshall.
Oh no, Rickenbacker.
And with a Rickenbacker bass. That's
well, they're
true.
a Rickenbacker band.
Because Paul Weller plays.
Paul Weller's got the Rickenbacker with the Vox,
which
might as well be Pete Townsend right there.
Really?
It's terrible.
Rickenbacker.
That's so crazy.
Rickenbacker sounds so
I thought for a long time that Moog was pronounced Moog.
Well, I just watched this documentary called Echoes in the Canyon, and they spent 20 minutes saying, if you called it Rickenbacker, you've been saying it wrong for years. I'm like, excuse me, I'm going to go drink some wine and dance in the kitchen.
Right.
Well, I guess Greg plays a what?
Rickenbacker.
A Rickenbacker.
Which does not sound cool at all.
No, not at all. Neither does.
We're talking about this. When you talk about a self-titled album, holy cow, you can't get better than that. And then all Mod Cons. But this, they were flirting with almost doing
it was supposed to be originally a concept album.
It was like a movie.
It was a concept album.
It was a script.
It was supposed to be a concept album, and then
Good to see you, man. I'm glad you're well. I'm glad you made it. I love you.
Totally.
I think it was the record company. I don't know exactly what pressured them into putting it out quicker.
Sure.
But so only.
It was like the concept album that never was.
Right.
Exactly.
That's the way it is.
Which there's probably Beef Heart records. There's probably a lot of Zappa records that there's probably a lot more out there that we don't know about.
Right.
And if people are kind and want us to continue doing this stuff, we'll discover them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, let me see that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
So this is original pressing.
Yeah, what a trio. Oh my gosh. And listen, let's be honest, on records, there might have been 5 or 6 people with horns, and then certainly Hammonds and organs and stuff, But live, to do these songs as a three-piece.
Never seen him live.
Well, they did the
I've seen Paul Weller live,
symphonic
but never.
version for this album.
Well, the symphonic, with Smithers Jones, which was actually like Bruce Foxton wrote that, and he wrote it like he was influenced by his dad, and which I think is like it's one of the saddest songs.
It's
to
a
me.
sad song
because it's just about like the people who like focus their lives so much on like their jobs and like being punctual and all like society's expectations that it's just like willing to like pitch like you don't really matter at the end of the day.
So
like
funny.
he ends up getting laid off, and it's just like
it's so funny. When you watch a wonderful film that has
an amazing
when you watch a wonderful film that has no explosions, no car crashes, and it's just beautiful dialogue, and it's poetry in motion. Like one line in a film should be the ending, or is the whole film. And for me, it's Eats on Rifles, and so I bought that 45. And that song.
Right now we're talking about Smithers Jones.
No, I'm sorry. We'll get to that. I'm just saying, but that song destroyed me. And
Eating Rifles.
We can get to that.
I think Eating Rifles is one of the.
And that's the single that I bought as a 7-inch or a 45.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, and I just remember being blown away by it. And it's build up.
Is that your favorite song on the album?
Well, you know what's funny?
Can you decide?
I suffer from a brain that is it's called all over the place disease. And so I fall in love 20 times a day at red lights.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And so but like right now I'd say Strange Town. Because
I knew that was one of your favorites.
Because that change, and you and I discussed it at some point, maybe earlier. But like, you being a drummer, I know you play pretty much every instrument, but you being a drummer and a great drummer, like the change in that is just amazing.
Well, you can like look at all of it. So look at Girl on the Phone, like the way that it's the beats and like the way that it's like the guitar is just like, and then like he actually like kind of refrains from like every every third beat on the guitar. Like, it's like that is
on
like
that Rickenbacker.
On that Rickenbacker guitar.
Exactly.
But it's like so when it just starts, there's almost like this little. So you first just hear the little faint ringing of the phone, and then it just kind of like cuts right into it. It's like boom, boom, and it's just like amazing. Like that to me is like. I don't play any instruments, but like I would think that would be so difficult.
You have impeccable taste in music. You really do have a fine ear, and it's you calling it.
But that would be amazing to be able to play that. To be able to play that the way it needs to be played. All of them.
Stop on the dime.
All of them.
So tight.
All of them. They're very, very tight. Every song is
it's their fourth album, right?
That's a good. That's a really
1979.
That's a really good.
They had something to prove. I kind of wish that it was more of a concept album.
I wish they would have been able to do that.
That was what they needed to do after.
I think.
But there's the thing.
After All Mod Cons.
But that's a really good point you're making because they literally. I think I wrote my first decent song, in my opinion, at 26. They are fresh out of the teeth.
He was fresh. He was like, okay, so
he was
like when they first signed Polydor, he was 19 and still living with his parents.
Yeah, because he wrote Down in the Two Tastes of Midnight. I guess before he recorded when he was like 17 or 18.
Insane.
Which, listen, I wish I wrote the Smell of Brown Leather or He Smelled of Pubs. Like I wish if someone was beating me up at midnight or 1 in the morning, and someone and
too many right-wing meetings.
And someone beat me up. I looked up and he smelled of pubs. Like I take my writing seriously, and I'm like, man, I wish the gods were kind to me that day.
He really is an amazing lyricist. And so Bruce Foxton wrote Smithers Jones.
Yes, and it's a great song.
And it's an amazing song.
It's one of the saddest songs ever.
Which they put out. Yeah, I agree. Which they put out as a single before this album came out, and then I think it might have been Foxton's idea too to add like the jam philharmonic orchestra. So it's orchestra on the album, which I think is beautiful. I think it's beautiful like that. I think like the whole it's like really expresses it well. I don't have like the track listing, and I don't know it all off the top of my head. It's like I think I don't.
This is part of the problem with the album because you're like, there's the back cover.
Yeah, and I don't
Where's the
even
track list.
And I don't even think
that's really funny.
Oh yeah, let's just pick the album out.
Yeah, so
Except that I'm old, so I can't see anything.
That's side
That's
one. Okay, I'm going to read it.
side one.
Because...
Which is totally different than the UK version, and also the reissue, I guess, that came out.
Okay, so I'm just going to say, and we're all aging beautifully, but our eyes are going.
Really, a lot. I need
Burning Sky, Smithers Jones, Saturday's Kids, E-Town Rifles, and Love is Like.
you know what, honestly, I'm just going to say, I wish
What's
they
your
would have
favorite song on the
Okay,
album?
side two, real quick.
Side 2, let's go.
I don't like to pick a
Girl on the
favorite.
phone, Strange Town,
Yep.
Thick as Thieves, good
I love that one.
gracious.
Yeah.
Private Hell, Little Boy Soldiers, and Wasteland.
Which is beautiful.
Okay, so this is the crazy thing.
I wish they would have left Heatwave off. Can I just say I wish they would
this
have.
is the crazy thing. Because I love this record, and if we were meeting to have pints of Guinness, thank you Guinness, or Jameson,
Which we are.
or Jameson, thank you Jameson. If we were meeting to have pints, and we talked about the Jam, hands down, a huge influence, one of my favorite bands. I would probably, because I'm a huge fan of not going like straight, I probably would pick this record as like, hey, this is one of my favorites, even though I know there's so many other Jam records that I love.
Sure.
But just now reading to both of you, this side A and side B, side 1 and side 2, I'd say on a scale of like 100, I'd give it like a 92.
I mean,
Except for maybe one song or two songs.
I wish they would have left Heatwave off. I wish they would have left Heatwave off. But and it's not bad. It's not bad for a cover.
Okay.
It's just that
It's actually great. It should have been a single.
It doesn't allow them. I mean, they shine like in their Weller's lyrics and songwriting skills and all that. Like so, the inability to really.
Yeah.
A good cover is when the band has a little bit of artistic leeway.
Well, good cover is them doing Curtis Mayfield's moving on up.
Yeah,
we know is a wonderful cover.
Right.
And I haven't.
This one doesn't allow as much for that.
I feel like the record label probably tried to push it.
Maybe.
To be like, we don't have a single on this album. What are we gonna do?
You know, the only single off this album.
Rifles.
That was the only single off this
That's
album.
the one that I bought.
Right.
It's this is the thing.
And that's, hands down, that's the single.
Only single off this
I'm
album.
gonna agree
But
with
they probably wanted it to be Heatwave.
I'm gonna agree with Cassie. I'm gonna agree with Cassie on this.
What?
I know.
Because I think if they put it out as, let's say in modern times, a digital single or just a 45 or whatever, boom, whatever. But it does not do anything which is add to or take away. No, as a matter of fact, it does take away.
It does.
From it being a period piece / like a theme record. It doesn't need to be on
concept record.
Exactly.
There are a lot of songs on here.
Money in the music business talking.
There are a lot of songs on here that actually weren't originally part of the theme album.
Sure.
And I do think that the record, not a lot, like 3 or 4, but the record company and Time pushing, but
if Paul Weller had been allowed to make it a concept record, it would have been an amazing fourth album.
Amazing.
You know what's funny?
You got three albums that are amazing.
You know what's funny? It's like because Paul Weller, legend, the Modfather, praise, such a huge fan. Unbelievable.
Yep.
But think about it. During the time, there was even in our own culture, like punks and skins and mods and stuff. There was diversity, whatever. And whereas the Clash, when we talked about in the past, were able to say kind of like "F you," whatever, to the record company. Maybe he wasn't lucky enough to be in that position to say, "Here's my thing I want to do," and they might have said, "No, you're doing. We need you to sound like the Supremes."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the fact of the matter is that they crammed all the other stuff. Not crammed, but that they were. It wasn't.
They did what they wanted to do.
Obviously,
they got out what they wanted
obviously
to get
the
out.
record company maybe had some their pushes or their timelines or whatever made it not able to be a concept album, like they wanted. But Girl on the Phone,
that's so good.
Amazing songs. He wrote a lot of these in the studio.
Yep.
In the studio, right there, that quick, boom.
Which is not an easy thing to do.
No, like that, and especially make it that good.
That's performing under pressure for sure.
Just like
being in the studio and being like, I got nothing. Let's bang it out.
And the chord changes and the timing and like everything with that and like the tightness. Like they're so tight. And that the fact that he wrote that in the studio and then they rehearsed it and put it out. Like it was like that. And it's such a song that's just like boom.
It's very primal and primitive. And now that us as mature adults, beautiful adults, nice to see you, Cassie and James. But like it's like
we need more beers.
Yes, we do.
Can we get some more beers?
Oh yeah.
We're
Hey Brian.
We need Brian.
We need more beer. Thank you so much. I want to thank the Trackside Tavern, established in 1982. Brian Colantuno, old mate of mine, beautiful man, and the Trackside Tavern. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Empty glasses.
We got more. It's coming.
Cheers, everybody. Yeah, no, it's such. But the thing is that it's very organic. It's very organic and primal. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Oh, you rule. Love you. I will help clean up at the end of this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But you know, you hear it, and it does sound primitive and organic. And you hear maybe the sense of urgency. They were like, yo, we're only paying for the studio to midnight until 11 o'clock.
But you know,
Let's
one of
record
the things
it. You know what I mean?
one of the things that he didn't like about this album was that it was so well produced.
It is. It's wonderful.
It is. It's like Cooper Smith Heaven, right? Did it like did the production? Like it's like amazing. So the girl on the phone, I always forget like.
And this is the album that I don't know it. I don't own this album. I own all the other albums.
Right.
I had Snap. I had Snap
that's a great
as a CD.
And by the way, that's another show of us doing best of compilation.
Best of
and greatest hits of bands, Ramones, Clash.
Then we'd have to argue about
I will say this. The Snap record. Literally, if they came out at 22 and just put out all those songs, they might be known as the best band ever.
I actually
right?
like if somebody
maybe that Ramones.
And when I first met Greg, and we were like knew each other long distance, I was talking about like.
This is the guy that you're married to for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
For now.
Big props to Greg. We love Gregory.
Greg's a good person. So
he's a beautiful man.
So I was talking about like albums I love or bands I love, and so I ended up sending him, and even though he had heard of the Jam, I ended up sending him. He didn't know
as much as we know about it.
He didn't really dive deep into them like as much as like some other bands. So I was like, okay, I will send you a CD. I sent him a Snap, not because it really comprises. He sent me
Captain Beefheart.
No.
Top.
No, I didn't know much about Wire, so he sent me Pink Flag, and Sure Is Missing. And he also
those are
sent
another
me,
2 episodes.
Totally.
But I was telling.
But I'm saying like that is the CD that I would use to introduce somebody to the Jam.
Well, I told you about my first tape.
If you want to know Cassie, you got to listen.
But I told you the first tape I bought was New Order Ceremony, and that really is a collection of New Order singles. And New Order to this day is still one of my favorite bands ever.
And so much Joy Division.
It's not even
beginning of it,
it's not even really a greatest hits record. It's just their singles. Some of them were not even close to hits. But it's wonderful and magical. And cheers. And I love
1979. What was going on?
1979 was. I don't know what's going on. I was a little kid.
I was 9 years old and hanging out in Queens, New York.
I was 4 years old. I was in New Jersey.
Burning Sky.
I love you.
Well, Smithers Jones was like Saturday's Kids always makes me like happy.
Well, Saturday's Kids might be the best title song ever.
But it is all just because it's about like it is still the class thing that like is very much a theme within like the Jam's music, but also
it's like working class
versus like the people with super privilege and so just like Eating Rifles because that was actually based off of a class conflict.
Yeah, I mean, Eaton is
by the way, that's really a difficult thing to say. Class
conflict. Goes like Clash.
But I get it.
We already did that.
And that is a clash. I understand what you're saying. Are we worried about time? Should I read one of these letters?
If you have a letter to read, let's go into it. Yeah.
We do have a letter. This is our second show. It happens to be my
Your birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
What? And
Tom.
Eric Lee, love you.
Eric Lee and Dee Boone
And Lon Chaney.
and Lon Chaney.
This is a really special one because I always want to connect, like my heroes, like Joe Strummer, like Paul Weller. I always want to connect with the fan and the kid, and let's say the kids who don't feel well connected, or like when I heard the Ramones song "Outsider," I cried because I felt like an outsider. You know.
And it touched you, yeah.
So we got this letter, and this is to all three of us. And it just says 2, and she wrote 2. 3 on the ones and twos, and she wrote all the numbers. So thank you, Melissa. And she said, I want to thank you for doing this show.
Aww.
I'm here to tell you punk rock has saved my life. I am having identity issues and not going through an easy time right now. Meeting and hearing you talk, and I do feel like I've met you, has been wonderful. It's been an eye-opener and an ear-opener. So I want to say thank you for this, and please keep doing what you're doing. And whether I'm a him or a her or a we or they, we're gonna kill this shit together. Melissa.
I love Melissa.
Melissa from St. Louis, Missouri.
I love Melissa.
We love you.
I love
Thank you.
Melissa.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Aww.
And thank you, episode 2,
Aw.
Electric Boogaloo. James Joyce, Cassie, my favorite human, Tom Cheshire. Thank you guys.
Aw,
And one love.
I
Melissa.
appreciate it.